Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Sleepy Boy here, back at it with you with No More Future. Well, if you're new to this channel, please continue supporting it by smashing the subscribe button, like, comment, or share it to your friends. If you're not new, then watch this video up to the end, or watch my other videos if you are not interested. No cap, no problem with me there. I'm not trying to be hard play here or anything. No. Yeah, going back to the game. So you're saying I can't commit crime? Yeah, I read that. Pretty much. For now, you're in a legal limbo where you're neither a person or an object, which practically bars you from entering a court of law. It won't last forever, mind you, but it's a perfectly acceptable compromise for the time being. That is a rather liberal interpretation of the facts you just shared, Dr. Shelley. It appears as though the Drake won't be as easily convinced as the cat thought he would. Just because he can't be prosecuted doesn't mean that we won't. Until those morons at Congress decide otherwise, that thing over there is company property. That means that we're the ones liable in the event of damages to other people's things or lives. You assume that Isaac is just another AI whose faults can be attributed solely to awful programming? However, that is still under debate, assuming that our synthetics are living beings and that their decisions are entirely theirs. A court cannot in good faith argue that we're to blame for any damages they cause. God, sorry. Rough throat. The Drake loudly exhales and shakes his head as he turns away from the confident woman before him. Oh, please. Oh, please, what exactly? I answered your every question, worked through every problem you brought up. What more could you possibly want from me? When Jasper turns around again, his expression is a definition of rage. I want you to face reality for a goddamn second is what I want. Do you think you can keep playing this dangerous game forever without fear of any sort of consequence? At some point, all these debates you mentioned will end. The customers will figure out the truth or will reasonably reach a conclusion if you continue clinging to denial. And the truth is that you're full of shit. This whole project is, and you know it. All you're doing is setting the stage for a new Kronos disaster. Do you really think that you're the first wannabe scientist slash necromancer trying to pass off her advanced AIs as real people? Excuse me? You're not sure what that man meant by that, but you find yourself unable to care right now. Overtaken by sudden self-righteous fury, you began to feel as though you've let this man harass both you and your friends more than enough. However, as you begin to approach him with a clenched fist at your side, Mary gets right up to her superior's face, looking thoroughly unafraid. Listen here, you oversized runt. I know you're still looking for reasons to burn this project to the ground, but you won't find any here. I'm far more prepared than you think I am. Until we prove once and for all the true nature of our synthetics intelligence, you can keep all your unneeded opinions to yourself. I'm sure we'll be able to work just fine without them, okay? A brief uncomfortable silence follows the Siamese hatred-fueled rant. You're not quite sure where this talk is going to head next. Okay. Any further issues you'd like to bring to my attention? You spot a myriad of veins threatening to burst on the Drake's face, including many that you are not quite sure are supposed to be there. You fear that his reply to his subordinate's aggressive tone might be loud enough to make the whole ceiling crumble on top of you. Is this fear what the knights of the fables of old felt as they were about to withstand a dragon's fiery breath? No, not to yours anyway. Your answers are sufficient for the time being. Evidently not, as all that boiling rage that threatened to erupt at any moment seems to have vanished in the blink of an eye. As you ask yourself what just happened, you nearly trip over yourself as Jasper deftly approaches you once again, having somehow managed to dart past the scientist. Listen well, Synthetic, I do not care in the slightest about what that lunatic told you until proven otherwise. You are our property, and you will behave as such from now on whether you like it or not. What you do with your time and with the money we throw into this flaming dumpster of a project is none of my concern. But if you ever cause trouble for us again, there will be consequences. Is that clear? The thought of decking this guy right on his nose once again pops in your mind. Come on, Isaac, deck this motherfucker, man. I feel like it'd be a fitting end to this shit show you bore witness to. However, you have enough sense left in you to keep your feelings at bay one last time. Crystal clear, sir. Good. Well then, with all due respect. Just like that, the Drake quietly vanished into thin air, and I'm just kidding. Turns around and heads for the door. He almost hits Mary with his shoulder on his way out, though the cat dodges to the side just in time. You think for a moment that the worst has passed, but that's when you hear his voice a final time as he opens the door. And Dr. Shelley, do not think even for a second that this is over. And so the dragon leaves the room just as rudely as he entered it. His long tail lingers in the door frame for a while, but soon that too vanishes. He is gone, of that you're certain, yet his words and presence still linger heavily in the room. You feel like the air around you now weighs twice as much as it should. Well, yeah, it's a big responsibility. You got called out by the principal, by the CEO. I get it, man, I get it. But let it pass. Give it time, and all that awkward feeling, that cringe, all the regrets, it would just... There are times it would come back to you. Yeah, sure, like knocking on your door, like, hey, remember this? But most of the time, you have moved on, pretty much. Mary takes a deep breath, then resumes talking with a pitch and a level of exasperation you hadn't seen her show before. God, what a nuisance! Who does he even think he is? Though still a little shocked from what transpired, Natalie steps up to entertain the irritated feline's rhetorical question. The CEO? The guy paying our bills? Nah, that's the HR division's job. The CEO's just the guy who can fire us at will. The Labrador puffs loudly as if someone just decked her in the stomach. How is that an improvement? Relax, just because he could fire me doesn't mean he will. He'll never say it out loud, but I'm far too valuable for this company to get rid of. What about me? The cat pretends to think about that question for a few seconds, a large grin already plastered onto her face. She's gonna say, nah, I don't think so. I guess I can see why you're so scared now. Mary? Okay, I'm just messing with you, I swear. Though the cat tries to laugh everything off as if it were of no consequence, you remain worried and doubtful. Come on, Mary, be serious. This is nothing to laugh at. The guy was trouble and you know it, and the things he said, I know that. Of course I know that. The Siamese sighs as she ponders how best to reply. There's no reason for either of you to panic. He can't put his hands on my entourage or my synthetics without going through me first. Aw. At the end of the day, he's just a pissy snake with a poisonous tongue and an ego too big for his head to fit in. That's not the point. I just feel like you're going out of your way to make that guy your enemy. Like there has to be some way of dealing with him without escalating the situation like you did, right? You took care of him for now, that's true, but the next time he has it out for you or Isaac, he'll probably be even more relentless in his approach. Is that really the smartest way to go about doing this? Mary takes another deep breath as she shakes her head unconvinced. Damn, she a hard-boiled person. Look, the guy's a massive prick. You've seen how he acts when he feels like he's right? I'm already pushing my limits by not decking him in that snout of his every time he shows up. You can't reasonably expect me to treat him any better than that. The Labrador looks stunned and dejected, unsure of whether to press the issue any further with her superior or not. The Siamese sighs as she turns to look at you, a curious look on her face. What about you, Isaac? What do you think? Me? It takes you some time to answer as there's quite a lot to consider and even more that you still don't know. From what little you've seen, you can perfectly understand the scientist's reaction. However, you also agree with Natalie's sentiment that her approach was far from professional. Not to mention all you know is the cat's side of the story. Knowing her character, there's likely plenty of reasons for Jasper to have contempt for her. You decide to reply as neutral as you can so as to not side with either of the two women. Well, I understand where you're coming from, Mary, but I also think that Natalie's right. Wait, what the hell did I say? What did I just said? Well, I think that Natalie's right. You were pretty confrontational back there. Huh, you think so too? You silently nod, hoping that the Labrador will pick up from here. Yeah, like, I get that there's bad blood between you two, but were all those jabs and insults really necessary? Maybe not. But I really don't care. That bloodhound's been a pain in the ass for as long as he's been here. Always meddling where he shouldn't be. Always trying to throw wrenches in my projects. What a B-word. The way I see it, a little petty revenge where I can get it doesn't hurt. Especially if I can get a laugh out of it. But that's... Natalie makes as if to say something, but her face tells you that she's too worried to openly speak her mind. You figure that she's just worried that she's not supposed to be this brutally honest with her superior. Maybe you should help her out. I mean, if it were just you and that guy duking it out, I'd understand, but you've got a whole team under you, and you're unknowingly dragging them into this mess. The more your conflict with your superiors escalates, the more unnerved your workers are going to feel. What if something were to happen to them because of all of this? Think of Natalie and the others, Mary. Are they really worth less than what few laughs you can get out of Jasper? The doctor makes us to say something, but then stops herself partway through, until only a faint sigh escapes her lips. Alright, I get it. I get where you're coming from. If you two are so concerned, I promise I'll try and cut down the sass a little when that bark-headed Nimrod's around. The well-being of my team is always my top priority, of course, and I'll be sure to remember that from now on whenever he's around. Though, if he starts threatening or intimidating you guys again under my watch... I can't promise I'll be gentle. I can't promise to be gentle if your friends were getting duked out by some rando. I mean, whoa, fam. Can we just calm down? You can't be sure that Mary will actually follow up on that promise, and from the looks of it, neither can Natalie. But on the other hand, she seems rather genuine when she emphasizes how much she treasures you two and the others. Aww. Perhaps there's some hope she'll take your worries to heart after all. Either way, one thing I can't understand is how somebody like that is even allowed to work here. I get that he's a CEO and stuff, but I never imagined he'd be so arrogant. Isaac, those at the top are arrogant as F. Well, it makes sense because they've done a lot of correct things to get their job. They'd be pretty confident about themselves that their ego will inflate. I mean, if I do a good job or something, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna roll, man. I'm gonna get high grades in my next exam. And then... you know, I get that high feeling. You get that feeling. Sometimes that feeling becomes part of you, which is problematic. Yeah. Though, to be fair, Mary hasn't done a great job so far at setting up an example of decency for this company's employees. Well, you won't be surprised to hear that he got his position partly because his grandfather is Pandora's majority shareholder. Like all big races, this one was rigged from the start. Oh, okay, that makes more sense, yeah. No way! So he gets to act as he pleases just because his grandfather's a big shot. As I said, that's only part of the reason why he got where he did, as much as it pains me to admit it. That Drake's pretty skilled when it comes to numbers and business, even better than most scientists and mathematicians I've interacted with. Not to mention that tough guy attitude is perfect for tossing other businessmen around. He was practically born for this job. This guy's good, I'll give him that. The past 10 years have been pretty rocky for the company. It's only thanks to his leadership that Pandora's managed to continue its business undisturbed. He is by all means irreplaceable. Wow, I never thought you'd end up praising him that much. It's not praise if I'm just stating the facts, the objective truth. He may be a prick, but he knows what he's doing. In the end, all that matters in life, or at the very least in this company, is results. Both me and Jasper are well aware of that, hence why we're both still working here in spite of our unique predispositions. You feel like you're starting to understand the dynamics of this place a bit better. Though knowing how Jasper could behave like that and get away with it doesn't make you any less angry about it. Still, what about the things he said to me? Sorry? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. When he started ranting about you being a hack and all that. I shouldn't be surprised given how hostile he's acted since he came through that door, but at that moment I almost thought that you're not sure what you were thinking at that moment. Truth be told, everything happened so fast it was hard to retain any memory of what the dragon actually shouted. That moment it was a hint of like, what if it was just a program? This was all just a sham. There's no transference that happened. He died, and this is just a AI programming that's really good enough to feel human. Yeah. Noticing your discomfort, Mary tries to console you as best as she can. Look, Jasper's opinions are complicated, and pretty stupid if you'll take my word for it. He just hates everything that I do, no matter what it is. Been like that since the moment he got here, actually. And sadly, that everything includes this project, and it includes you. But why? I get that me causing that fight with the police didn't make his mood any better, but... The Siamese sighs as she tirelessly shakes her head. Take my advice, kids. Stop thinking about that idiot. I stopped trying to figure him out a long time ago, and I never saw the point of doing that to begin with. Don't worry about him or about what you did this morning. You're just an innocent bystander, wrapped up in a mess you don't deserve to be in. Let me handle all this nonsense for you, okay? You want to press for more information, but it appears as though the cat's already been rather exhausted with you. Besides, maybe Mary's right. Maybe this really isn't your war to fight. Maybe it really would be best if you try to shove this awful encounter with Jasper to the back of your mind and pray that you never have to relive it. It's been working somewhat fine with the rest of your terrible memories after all. Alright, I trust... Hey guys! Natalie beckons for her attention. I don't mean to be a party pooper, but it's getting really late. Huh? What do you mean? It's only... The doctor grabs the tablet she always carries in her coat and turns it on. She seems rather surprised by what she sees, as well as a little annoyed. 4:43 p.m. already? That whole shit show took up way too much time. We still need to reorganize all the data we gathered this morning. Not to mention there's a train I need to catch in less than an hour. This afternoon's events were so draining you completely forgot about what you were going to do upon leaving this place. I haven't even bought the ticket yet. I was hoping you could teach me how to do that on my own. Yup, I figured. What a bother. I'm really sorry. I was looking forward to that too. However, given everything I need to do, The canine steps forward. There we go. Natalie's up here about to do the managing. Yeah. The canine steps forward, a more confident smile on her face. Don't worry, Mary. I'll help Isaac get home. Assisting him is my duty now, after all. Besides, you don't need me around to do all that boring lab stuff anyway, right? The cat looks over to the Labrador with a wide grin on her face. You're right, I don't. That actually works out pretty well, Nats. I knew I could count on you for this. Natalie giggles happily while Mary turns to face you. You don't mind if Nats takes over for me, right? You mean just as a helper or in general? The doctor cracks a laugh at your playful jabbing, knowing you well enough already to figure out that you're just messing around. Hey now, you know you can't get rid of me that easy. Let's look at Jasper. He's been trying to do that for 10 years now. Either way, I'm off to work. Talk to you tomorrow. See ya. The two of you wave the cat goodbye. She leaves the room, leaving you and Natalie behind. So I guess I should start heading out. Can't afford to waste any more time while I still have a train to catch. Right, do you know how to leave? Yeah, I'm familiar with this place already. I was stuck here for quite a while after all. Turn left at the exit, second door down the hallway, then down the elevator I go. Wow, not even I know this place that well. I still get lost somewhere every time I try to go to the bathroom. But I'm quickly figuring out where every office and room in the building is now by accidentally stumbling into them while looking for the toilet, that is. Anyway, I'll run to the wardrobe Mary calls my office and begin setting up the wireless connection. It should only take a few minutes at most. Hope you don't mind the quiet until then. It's fine, I'll manage. Thanks for everything, Nats. Talk to you soon. Bye! Talk to you soon, friend! Alright, we're getting out of the lab. Wow, it took like 2 episodes. After waving each other goodbye, the two of you head your separate directions. Without even knowing it, you're already outside the building, headed back the way you came in the morning. You thought your troubles would mostly be over as soon as Arthur got out of your life, but that main dragon just had to come around. Jasper. He feels like someone whom you probably shouldn't mess with. Someone who not even Mary can do anything about. Someone who seems to have a bone to pick with you for no good reason. It really makes no sense. He seemed irritated by your presence alone, and he always addressed you as if you were nothing more than an appliance. Shouldn't he be more enthusiastic about you, considering how much time and resources his company probably spent to allow you to exist? To continue existing, rather. Maybe he's just salty about the expenditures, like every stereotypical CEO you've heard of, and yet you can't help but feel like there's something more you still don't know. At least it wasn't all bad. You may have made a new enemy, but you also made a new friend. Alright, cool. Perhaps not the one you envisioned, but most certainly the one you needed. Despite how overwhelming her sensitive side can be, something about Natalie's honesty and eagerness to be your friend makes your heart feel a little fuzzier when she's around. Well, figuratively speaking anyway. Hey there, sorry for the wait. Took me a bit longer than I thought to hook everything up. You stumble in your step as a familiar voice suddenly blooms in your ears without notice, almost making you fall right off the sidewalk in the process. Nats? I'm sorry, my Filipino thing. Nats? Could you warn me next time you do that? Please, you almost gave me a heart attack. Oh no, I didn't do it again, did I? It happens all the time when I'm trying to call Mary or my other co-workers. Oh no, indeed. Anyway, I finally got access to her GPS system. I can plan the route home from here and teach you how to set it up yourself when we're at your place. Sounds good? Yeah, sounds good, I guess. In that case, you briefly consider using some form of public transportation or transport to get around the place faster, but you quickly figure that it may not be a smart idea. You've already learned your lesson from this morning. Commuting in your current state isn't going to be very fun. The best thing you can do is travel lightly and travel alone. After some deliberation, despite the time constraints, you opt for the simplest course of action. Show me the fastest route to the new relay train station. We've got a train to catch. Okay, you begin your trek home with Natalie's voice ever at your side, treading at the same path as this morning in reverse. The Labrador originally suggests a more scenic view through the livelier side of town, but you quickly convince her otherwise. I think I've seen this. Yeah, we've seen this. It was like episode 7 or 8. You quickly agreed to follow this path in particular, as this road is apparently the quickest to the station, not to mention the most peaceful at this hour of the day. Truth be told, after all that screaming and shouting you just endured, some peace and quiet is all you can really ask for. Moreover, the evening sky in the distance is still as pretty to look at as ever, with its delicate rosy hue covering the horizon like a blanket. So it's not a wholly uninspiring journey. But then again, nothing in the city feels uninspiring to begin with. Ah, you grew up in Bloomberg. I think I remember visiting it once with my grandparents. It looked like a nice place. Natalie's questions appear to never cease, and so far you're more than happy to indulge in them, even when there's not much for you to reply with. Yeah. It's alright, I guess. Isn't it like 2 hours away from here? I guess that explains why you need to take the train. 2 hours by car, yeah. On the other hand, with the mag train, it's about 20 minutes. Either way, Bloomberg's nothing to get too excited about. It's just a city like any other. Really, nothing novel or extraordinary about it. Ah, is that it? So it's just a place where you happen to be born, I take it. Pretty much. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying your time in New Relay then. I know you didn't get a chance to see it all while you were busy recovering from your transition, but trust me, it's the coolest place on earth for sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm liking the aesthetic, the vibes of this whole city, this place. Like, personally speaking. Or maybe because it just feels new. That I know of, anyway. Right. You sure you're not being a bit biased? Maybe. I do like high-tech stuff a lot, I guess. Plus, I do sort of live here now and all. Now, where did you used to live? For once, your canine assistant is remarkably quiet. It takes her a few seconds to answer your instant question. Washington, D.C. Ah, the most political, the core politics, huh? Really now, that's interesting and quite strange indeed if you're in the US, of course. The capital of the United States is certainly not a city you expected her to mention so unenthusiastically, yeah. Huh, that far away. Yeah. She doesn't sound particularly thrilled as she recounts this part of her life to you, that's for sure. Let me guess, you didn't really like your hometown either. Well, I guess I'll end this video right here. If you're new to this channel, please feel free to subscribe, like, comment. If you're not new, watch my other videos, yeah. Other than that, hopefully everybody, you guys, or the ones who are watching, guys and gals, stay safe. Good luck on whatever you're doing. And I'll be seeing you in the next episode or soon in another video. Bye!